All right, everybody, we're back again for another episode where we're going to keep it locked and loaded with information. As always, is me, Joseph, and my co-host Javis over there. We decided to keep the same outfits this time. Ha ha ha! Funny. Um, this episode we're going to be talking about Harry Potter, but we're also going to be talking a little bit about Javis's stream deck because what was interesting to me is I chose not to get one, and he did choose to get one. I chose not to get one because it's very hard for me to play portable. I'm having trouble with my Nintendo Switch of just getting comfortable to be able to play it and having my head down and doing that because I do too much of it already with my phone. Um, so I find it difficult, but I like what the Stream Deck is doing, and I kind of like. I didn't get into knowing more about the Stream Deck until this is how the conversation happened. We were having trouble getting Javis audio to work the way it's supposed to with a phone, and I'm like, it should work perfectly with a phone, but it's not coming in clear. I never understood that. So he was like, I said, and I asked him the question, what happened with your laptop? You said you were going to get a new laptop over the Christmas break. And he was like, no, I ended up getting the Stream Deck instead. And I'm like, wait, you have a Stream Deck? He was like, yeah, I got a Stream Deck. And I was like, I think you can stream on that Stream Deck. And he was like, are you serious? And I was like, I think so.
It
So,
just to cut in. It is the Steam Deck. So just to make sure
did I
everyone
say
that
Stream Deck?
like 8 times in a row.
This is why I
Steam,
shouldn't. I should.
Steam.
You know what? I'm gonna change it. Javis is the host. I am the co-host of this show because I
All
can
do
put
it.
all this stuff together. But if you ask me to name it, I couldn't tell you to save my life. So don't look at me if you're trying to figure out what something is called. Just look at me if you're looking for something to work. I'll make it work, but I won't know the name of it. So
We'll,
his
we'll, we'll
Steam
put it in
Deck,
the comments.
I know, right? So his Steam Deck that we were trying to get to stream on his deck of his house. That's why I got that. No, whatever. Um, we were trying to get. I realized that his Steam Deck. Well, anyone that knows this knows it's nothing more than just a computer. And
Mhm.
if you look at it, it has a simplistic operating system, but it's a computer. And when you switch out a button or something, it'll switch it to a like desktop. But is it Windows operating system or is it a Linux operating system? I think it's
Ah,
Linux.
I'm pretty sure it's Linux. But yeah, it's definitely PC heavy. This is my non-educational mechanic voice talking, but
Yes.
yeah, he's absolutely right. I haven't done anything game worthy in a while, so I wanted to get back into it. So I wanted a PC so I could start gaming. And every one of my friends were like, "Get a Steam Deck, get a Steam Deck," and I was like, "I don't really do handheld stuff." I didn't understand why, so I did some research and found out that I was buying a PC. And I was buying it pretty cheap. Because the lowest price for a Steam Deck is 420, and that's what I spent on this. And the fact that I am using it as a PC blows my mind completely. I did not expect this. Um, it's something that I would 100% get. Like whenever they come up with the new Steam Deck, I think I'm a Steam Deck junkie. Like I want a new one every year. And
Yeah.
literally it's one of those things that uh I don't know, it just really surprised me because you can play it as a handheld, and then you're right, there's a button you press, you can go in instead of it's the switch off button. And you can either log off of your account because you have to have a Steam account in order to play the Steam Deck. But instead of switching off of your account, it says switch to desktop mode, and when you do that, it comes up like a real desktop, like you're actually on a computer. And
Does it look
so,
like a Windows 10 operating system?
yeah, it really does. It really, really does. It
Mm,
looks like a Windows operating system. It automatically comes with Safari. You got Safari on there, and also,
Safari. That's Mac.
wait, hold on, is that Mac?
You're going to end up cutting yourself out of the
Sorry,
show.
not Safari, Google Chrome.
Wow.
I got that wrong. My bad.
Yes. All
That's
right,
how.
everyone. I am now the host again. This is
Oh
your
my
host, Joseph.
god.
He's now the co-host again. Oh my gosh, mistakes will happen, but it's
I'm
good to be
telling
back
you.
in charge again because he wasn't doing a good job being the host. He didn't
You
even
start
introduce me.
you start telling me McKay. Hey everyone, this is Joe. He gonna keep it
um,
locked and loaded.
but since we were having the audio issues, we realized it basically is just a computer. So we bought all the parts that would take. He bought all the parts that it would take to make a computer be a computer: monitor, webcam, mouse and keyboard, all that stuff. I gave him the link to connect it to the show. He did that, and it's been smooth sailing. Surprisingly, he hasn't needed an Ethernet connection to make everything go. Everything has been a wireless connection, but as you can see, you can hear him. And one of the things that this device actually says that we're using, not his Steam Deck, but my device that I'm using to stream all this stuff, says make sure you have a high-end computer in order for the virtual set background to work. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And as you can see, he's actually using the virtual set, and there's no issues. There's no problems there. This is an amazing piece of technology that I didn't know existed in the way that I thought existed, and I am floored at how incredible this thing is because I'm not seeing an issue with him. I'm not seeing any hiccups. He's got full control of what he needs to do. It takes him about what he clicks on the link, he pops into the room, I add him to the show, we check audio levels, and then I click the button that says start the stream, and we're going. And his whole entire Steam Deck doesn't have an issue or problem. We thought there was a problem in the beginning because it wouldn't charge, but he just didn't have the original cable it came with. Once he connected the original cable, it went from 5% to 7% instantly, and we knew everything was good. But I say all of that to start this show. I know it took like this long to say it, was because when I there was a review on I think I forgot, it's like Gamer Review, or I forgot the name of that actual YouTube thing, and it was like it's been 1 year later. It's like literally, what do we think of the Steam Deck now? And what they think, the thing that they talk about is how the third party Steam Deck has updated itself to be more easier to use with third party software. And one of the biggest third party things that they are dealing with is an actual docking station for the items, because his docking station is a third party docking station. And at the
Mm,
very beginning, there would be hiccups and issues with trying to use that and getting the monitor to work properly. So they realize how important it is to support third parties, and they've been upgrading and constantly upgrading their system to make it more user friendly for using all third party things and not using their own. The actual Steam docking thing that came out, I think it came out like a month or two ago. I didn't even realize that. I thought it came out the moment you purchased the product, but it came out later. So people were only using
wow.
third parties, and
I
that's
didn't know
why
that
they
either.
really, yeah. So the information about it, like it's I had to look up the information to figure out what he needed to be able to actually stream with me. But when I did that, if you go on YouTube and you type in something you're looking for, then it changes the algorithm, and then there you go. You're constantly getting bombarded with all that stuff, and it won't stop. So now all my stuff is showing everything dealing with Steam Decks and how people are using it and everything, and how they can actually easily reprogram it. They can open it up and upgrade it if they need to, and make it an even more powerful Steam Deck. So with that being said, they also now for Steam, when you're looking up games to purchase, they actually say Steam Deck verified, as in this will work on your Steam Deck. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even know that even existed. And they said
Yep,
now it's officially 8,000 games, 8,000 games that work on your Steam Deck.
that sounds
But
about right.
this site was Gamer Ranks. But what was funny about that, he said, yeah, 8,000 is not a lot, and it popped in my head. I'm like, it's a Steam Deck. They have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of games on there, so much so that 8,000 games is not a lot, but 8,000 games is a lot to someone who's just getting at gaming, which is what Jay is doing because he was a heavy gamer and he just stopped. And now he's back into it, and now he has 8,000 verified games. But I sent him a text message this morning, and the text message was simply Harry Potter will work on your Steam Deck without a problem. Like, it'll have problems like any game does, but it's verified that Harry Potter will work, because we were just talking about with our nephews of whether we wanted to get the Harry Potter game. And the first thing I thought of was like, oh man, James might have to get an Xbox or a PlayStation because this thing is not going to work on a Steam Deck. And sure enough, works just fine on a Steam Deck. So more than likely, when he gets his next paycheck, if he has a couple of days where he's going to have off, because any person I've talked to about Harry Potter has said this has been the best Harry Potter game out there. More importantly, probably one of their most favorite games they've ever played. And for the first time ever, you're excited about doing side quests because it levels up your character to be able to fight better in all the battles that they do. And so, of course, I go to who I always consider people that are like my minded black people with, either hair like mine or something. And the first question I always ask anyone is my hair in the game? Is it locked? And so his response was, yeah, your hair is in the game.
It's in the game.
And I'm like, you're playing with me right now. I said, you're playing with me right
It's
now. I said, I
in
can
the
I can have
game.
this in the game. He's like, Joe, let me tell you. He said, I spent so much time creating my character because you do get a lot of diversity within your character, even the clothes. So he said that took its own time because when you're playing an RPG or something like that, the first hour or two is you designing who you're going to be because you remember for us that are older, I don't know, James experienced this a lot, but when you picked your character, that was it. There's no changes after that. You
I
pick your
experience a
character.
lot of that.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
nowadays it's like you can pick your character and then like walk up to the mirror and you can completely change your character. And I'm like, but some of them do it where you got to pay a cost and it's a heavy cost. I'm like, okay, that's good. But other times it could be like hit the pause button and completely change your character. Now your character's female. Now your character's male. Now your character's both. It's just like, and then hair color, style, all that just changes on the fly. Then the character keeps continuing and walking through. And I'm like, that's never been fair to me. But to each his own. I don't have a problem with that. But the conversation ended up being about Harry Potter, and I have not played the game. I have not touched the game. I have not even really did a review or read any reviews or watched any videos about the game because it's a Harry Potter game, and I've never jumped up to play a Harry Potter game because I always felt they would get it wrong. I'm being told now that they didn't just do it right, they did it justice. This is phenomenal. They have knocked it out of the park. They are doing things that you wish they would have done years ago, and it could be the foundation of creating even more things to happen in the Harry Potter world that's never been done before. But it's not even called Harry. I keep saying the Harry Potter game, but isn't it called like Hogwarts Legacy or something like that?
Yeah, that is what it is because it's not Harry Potter. They've been trying to get so far away from Harry Potter
Yeah.
as of late. So they wanted to do something that was completely different. This game is set 200 years before Harry Potter was born. And so this is Dumbledore hasn't been born. None of the people in the movies and the books exist. This is about the I think it's the goblin. This is the goblin or the trolls. I think it's the goblin. There's a goblin uprising, and they talk about it in the movies and in the books. But it's kind of one of those things to where, like, if you are a fan of any fantasy thing out there, Star Wars, for instance, how in the 4, 5, and 6 they would talk about the Clone Wars, but it was always too big to actually put that on a screen. Well, they put it on a game. They gave us the Goblin Uprising War, and you're in the middle of it. It's incredible. It's
Is
incredible.
there a lot of dialogue in this game? Do you know anything about that?
I do think that there is a lot of dialogue in the game. There's a lot of choosing what you want to do. You do not get people are upset because you don't get down points or you don't get I want to say punished for being bad. It's just a choice you make. And it's
Good.
literally you choose, and that's what I said. I was just like, at the end of the day, like, there are games out there where you can literally choose what you want to be. And in Harry Potter, if you've ever been a fan, they choose what they want from the very beginning. Even the hat, the sorting hat, has always been like, look, there's two houses I can put you in. It's your choice. Like, what do you want to be? And this is
I
that
don't
game.
remember him saying that for Harry. I remember him being like, I think, like he said, like Gryffindor or which one was gonna be his?
Slytherin.
Slytherin. He said Slytherin is gonna be yours, and he was like, I didn't want that. I didn't want that.
Yeah.
Please.
Yep.
So
He was
like,
just like, because he told them, he said you can he said both houses are available. He was like, he said, I forget what he said. He said something like both houses are available, and then Harry was like, "Please, please, not Slytherin, not Slytherin." He said, "But you can really grow at Slytherin." Oh well, Gryffindor, and that's what he gave him, Gryffindor. He was just like, "You could be something incredible if you just went bad." Like, and
Like
so
your parents, like your
exactly.
horrible, mean parents.
Mm, but yeah, so so this game is that game where you can be anything and do it. And I told this was the reason why I wanted a PC. They started talking about this game early last year, really heavily talking about it. And I said, I gotta get that game. I have to play that game. And I was just like, I don't have anything worth playing it on. So then my entire goal last year was to get something to play it on, and now I have it.
So
And
this is the it's gonna be like Harry Potter, like Hogwarts Legacy. I'm gonna start trying to call it that.
yes,
Hogwarts Legacy and Steam Deck. So you haven't gotten the game yet. You're gonna get the game. But my question for right now is, when you play a Steam Deck game, you're playing it like you would an Xbox, but only the video, instead of it being you looking up at a screen, you're looking down at the screen like you would a Nintendo Switch. But you're playing it essentially with a controller, so not a mouse and keyboard.
yeah.
Is
So,
that going to
but
change with your new setup?
it is going to change with the new setup. And now I have to think about what I want to do because now I have the docking station. So I can get a Xbox controller that has USB not USB. What is that
Yep,
called?
you got it
Yeah,
right.
USB capability to plug into the back of it, and then I can use that as my controller instead of using a keyboard and mouse or the handheld. The docking station changes everything. I can have whatever controller I want now as long as it's in USB form.
What do you think before you even start is going to be your preference?
Xbox. Xbox, it just feels better in my hands. I've always loved um, the style of the Xbox controller, and I'm used to playing that as of late than anything else. And I think that that's going to be my go-to in terms of the controller I want to use.
Because of the vibrations of the controller. It's
But
not
which is
wrong.
which is so funny because the Steam Deck itself has vibration, it has touchpad, it has D-pad, it has literally has every type of, it has the YBAX, it has literally everything you could possibly use as a controller is on this Steam Deck. It has back touchpads as well. It has literally, you can use parts of it as a mouse if you want. And it's just like they gave you everything on this one device, and I feel bad now that I'm not using it and it's just sitting here being the PC.
Wait,
Um
has it been sitting there since you connected it the first time?
yes.
And you haven't disconnected it at all?
No.
For handheld at all?
No.
Have you been using the computer function every time you come home?
Yes.
Wow. So you literally purchased something in December, and now it's completely different here in what it's March now.
Yes, it's literally become the bulk PC that sits at the bottom while you do your keyboard, and it's literally become that on the side of my desk.
Wow.
I don't need it anymore. Its function and capability has switched over to my monitor, my keyboard, my mouse. I use everything that's here. I barely look at it. It's
Wow.
incredible.
So next question is this. You're doing all that, you're choosing to get an Xbox controller. Why not just get an Xbox?
I don't know because of the fact that Xbox, one thing that reason I wanted a Steam Deck is because I originally wanted a PC. The reason why I wanted a PC is because I wanted to play games on Steam. Steam was built for indie games. Steam was built for you make a game, you upload it. I wanted to play games that you couldn't just get on an Xbox or couldn't
Mm,
just get on a PlayStation.
mm.
It's built for visual novels. It's built for creatives, and I wanted to play, and that was the reason why I left the gaming community in the first place. Everything was a sequel to a sequel to a sequel, but I wasn't getting anything unique anymore, in my personal opinion. And so I wanted to go back to the basics of I don't care if it's 2D. I don't care if it's 8-bit. If it's something different and I'm having fun at it, then I should be able to play it. And
Wow, I'm the exact opposite.
are you
Like,
serious?
well, here's this is the caveat for me. I pay so much money for my PS5. Every last one of them mofo games better be the highest quality of graphics and things that I've ever seen,
I
or there's
get
going to
that.
be hell to pay. And that's just
I
how I
get that.
feel about it because, like, what's the point? It's like getting a Blu-ray player, but buying a VHS edition movie to try and get it to work on that. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? So they're like,
Yeah,
no, this 2D game has this, and the way the graphics works, it makes it like. I'm like, no, I want the visualization of the God of War, the Last of Us. I played the Last of Us, the first game, I think 4 times already, and The Last of Us 2 times. And I redid Last of Us again because they just re-updated it with the PS5 graphics and stuff or whatever. And so I played the whole game again. And when I was done, I immediately started The Last of Us 2 and played that like a continuation on. And I'm in
nice.
love with it. Why? Because of how it looks. Like I can't logically in my head fathom someone making a purchase of that much money
Uh-huh.
and getting something on a lower graphics. Then why not just get you a cheap PC that can run it the exact same way? I've always felt that way. Just get a
Yeah,
cheap PC, buy a controller, and call it a day. But
exactly.
to each his own, everyone can do their own thing. Is you bought it, you can do whatever you want to with it. If it's designed to handle it, do it. The benefit you have is you got a PS5 controller playing a PC type game that's like a 2D low graphic, whatever, good for you. But people have been trying to get me, Joe, you gotta play what was that? There's some game that's like a 2D whatever game, and I'm like, I tried it, I couldn't. It's just like, why am I playing
Among
this?
Us.
Yeah, it could have. I was playing Among Us on there as well, but it was like, why am I playing this when when I'm sitting there watching the YouTube videos a year before the PS5 and the Xbox One X was coming out, and I'm looking at, oh, well, this specs on this has this type of thing, and it can do these graphics. I'm that person. I'm sitting there like getting excited, like, well, it can do this. Then you can grab these graphics instead. Okay, so then I buy it, and I'm buying pixel Pixel Barbie, Pixel Pop, whatever. Why would I buy that if I spent all this much time engaging on what the back end of it can be able to do? It doesn't make logical sense in my head. Why are we having
Yeah,
these console wars of this one can do this and this one can do that? But then you get either console, or in my case, I got all the consoles except for the Steam Deck, and I'm sitting there trying to come. There's no comparison to it at all. If you're gonna just pick a 2D game, you can play that 2D game on the Nintendo Switch, on the Steam Deck, on the Xbox, on the PS5, and they all look exactly the same, play exactly the same. But no, but then you try to put The Last of Us 2 onto the Steam Deck, maybe, or even the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, Nintendo Switch is just gonna burn. It's gonna just like catch fire and go down. Steam Deck maybe be able to handle a few things. You put the graphics because the Steam Deck is essentially a computer, so you can turn off certain graphics and still get you what you want and still have a great experience.
yeah.
But trying to do some of those games, it's just like that's always been my head. So then you get back to a game like the Hogwarts Legacy, and I find myself wanting to play this for this reason alone. To see
Uh-huh.
this in a game where I'm a wizard, cast and taking names. But then my next question is, does this look good? And if I sit down and I find out that it looks as good as I think it should be looking, I'm buying the game. Because right now I'm playing God of War Ragnarok, and
Mm.
as great as the graphics are, as great as the storyline is, I'm like, eh. And I'm not here for the reasons that people think it is. That's going to be another topic of discussion because I know people are going to go back one day. If when these shows get popular and watch all the old episodes like these and be like, why
Yeah.
did he say huh? I'll get back to that episode 44. I'm gonna mark it there. Episode 44. I'll tell you why. I'm like, huh, on God of War
I'll put
Ragnarok.
it in my phone, episode
I know you
44.
will. As soon as it's 44, you be like, you remember you said, and I'll explain it then. I have no problem doing that. But for right now, it's just that's where I'm at. So I'm being told about Hogwarts Legacy. I'm seeing this African American man telling me that he plays games all the time, but they have not been grabbing him. And then he sits down and he purchased Hogwarts Legacy. Like he went to the store and bought it, so he has the actual disc, puts it
Nice.
in, does the install, and makes sure that he's good to go. And then he only plays it for an hour the first night, hour or two the first night. He was like, okay, yeah, I think I'm going to be doing something with this one. I kind of like it. He said he woke up the next morning. It was 6:30 in the morning when he woke up, and he played until 11:45 a.m. And he said the only reason why he stopped was because he had to go to work. And I'm like, when was the last time I had that feeling? Someone is just
Exactly.
telling me that. So I think
Exactly.
for you, that's what the Steam Deck is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is I have a funny story, and the story is, like I said, my goal last year was to get something to be able to play Hogwarts Legacy on. I got my Steam Deck. My friends were just like, Jay, give me your information. And I was like, my information? They're like, yeah, give me your password, give me your login right now. And I was just like, what? And I was just like,
Yeah.
okay. And so they were just like, because they were people I trust, believe me, in the gaming community. I didn't give it to some stranger or
We're gonna
rando.
find
So
out.
I was just like, so I gave it to them, and they were just like, hey, look at your phone. It's a text message for me. It was their information, their password, their login. 5 steps later, they synced our accounts. I have 700 games on my Steam Deck.
I hate you and everything you stand for. I should have just
everything
hit the end stream button right there.
everything they've ever bought on their Steam account is on my Steam Deck. So Harry Potter,
Can
so cut
you
wait, cut to Harry Potter Legacy coming out. Somebody comes up to me, they were just like, Jay, Harry Potter Legacy is out. I said, oh, I didn't notice. I didn't know. I've been
Wait, so how
playing.
does it work when it comes to playing the game? Are you can create your own not your own account, but like when you play, are you starting a brand new game or you continuing someone else's that they played or so? How's that work?
It's a brand new game. It's a save log on here. The only thing that it does not give you is basically what happens. What happens? So for whatever reason, if their account stops syncing, they can choose to not sync up at any time or whatever. If they are playing something, you won't be able to play it. And I think that the last thing is there are certain things like I can save my game. I have my own save account on here, but it's not really there kind of a thing. Like, let's say it's a game where like what is it? What is that game? I don't remember it, but let's say it's a game. It's like, hey, take your information, and when you play this next game, it'll transfer it over. When you play it, it's not really there. You're playing it off of their account. So basically, your information on it, once you choose to, I don't know, once you stop playing it, or once you choose to, there's a word I'm looking for, not delete it, but there's something that you choose not to do anymore, and once you do that, it's not going to keep the information. It's basically there just for you to play the entire game, do a run through or whatever, but you're not keeping any of the information. If you bought game two of that game two would have no idea that you played game one. um
Okay, so to make sure that I understand it, Davis has an account, Joseph has an account. We sync accounts. So now you start playing. I buy Hogwarts Legacy. You're like, oh, Hogwarts Legacy, and so you're able to see my account that Hogwarts Legacy is there. You double click on it so you can play. You start playing, and then a month later, you're really into this game, and I'm like, I didn't really like that game anymore, and I delete it. Are you still able to play it?
no, I can only play it as long as it's on your account.
Okay, and then the next scenario is say I don't delete it, it's there, but me and you get into an argument, and I'm like, well, I ain't speaking to you anymore. You're like, I ain't speaking to you. I hate your guts. I hate your guts. And then it's time to resync the account, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do it.
Yep. I don't have it anymore. I don't have any of your games anymore. If you choose to, you can choose at any point in time to disconnect your synced accounts that you've synced up with.
I mean, basically, when you really think about it, it's kind of like having a Game Pass or a PlayStation Plus account, but only difference is instead of you turning it off because you don't want to pay for it anymore, somebody else has the decision of turning it off and deciding whether you get to play or not. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to imagine having a Game Pass, and then I write a comment on Xbox about, well, I don't think that game was all that good that y'all just came out with, and they like bloop, like I don't have access to the games anymore. Like what happened? So that's basically what you have. You have a
Yeah.
backwards key.
Yes. It's basically
Someone
just a
has to let you in every time, but if they decide not to let you in, you're done.
you're done. But at the end, but it's just so cool because the Steam Deck and your Steam account, if you look up your account online, it'll show only the games that you've bought. You'll never be able to see their games unless you're inside of the device that you're using. So I can't go to your house, Joe, log into my Steam account on your computer and see these games. These games are specifically linked to this Steam Deck.
Oh, so
It's
if you got yourself a second Steam Deck, let's say you have one for home and then one for your vacation home, you're out of luck.
yes.
They
I
would
would have
have
to
to get
call them
permission to do
back.
it.
Yep,
Okay.
and we would have to do the whole process all over again in
How
order
many
for them.
people can sync up?
I don't know. I'm so new to this, but when I was inside of his account, he was like,
That
"Hey,
sounds a
can
little sexual.
I
Watch what
know,
you
right?
say.
It's I was just
When I
choosing my
was
words
inside of his
carefully.
account, it felt
But
so
no,
great.
he let me. He was like, "Hey, can you delete some of the because it was uh, causing a space issue on, and it was causing us not to be able to sync up." It said he had too many that he was synced up to. It did say that, and so he was just like, "Yeah, just delete all the other ones." He was like, "You're the only one I'm sharing content with," and so then I go into his account to see all the ones that he was linked up with, and it was like over 15. And he was just like, I was reading them off to him. He was like, I don't even talk to him no more. Yeah, delete that. Like literally. And yeah, he had no idea that he was still linked up to like over 15 different devices. So I think some people
Well,
may have gotten a little
I guess
upset.
the next question is, when you link with him, you can not only see his games, but all the games he's linked to.
No, I think
Oh,
it's only the games that he's bought for
got it.
onto
Okay.
his account. And so yeah, I linked up with his. I linked up with my friend Angelique, and between the two of them, it's over 700 games. And he's just like, yeah, check out all the Evils. I have all the remastered ones, and check out this and all the Crisis. And like literally, I'm going through the list, and I'm just getting overwhelmed. Like
Hmm.
the first day that I got my Steam Deck, I spent 24 hours just scrolling. I had no idea what I wanted to do or what I wanted to play. I was just scrolling through games.
I'm gonna pause you on that one so we can end this episode
Oh
because I
yeah.
literally want the next episode to be about fatigue. I don't want us to
Mm.
forget about that because there's a
Yes.
such thing as fatigue on the games,
Yes,
on
there is.
social media, and on the movies. Because like I said that one time to you, that I find myself scrolling more than I am playing now.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that. So thank you everyone for tuning in and watching this episode. Had another great time with Jay. Was so happy that everyone's able to see and everything. I'm going to work on getting our intro put in and having an outro for the end. But until then, you'll just have this to go with and enjoy what we got. Until next time, I don't know why I just broke this, but we're good. So thank you everyone. Keep it locked and loaded with information. Have